Before we start our Hine Matov, I just want to take a moment to say how much I appreciate all of you. It's been a week of a lot of bad news. I've got a young friend who I went to college with who just lost her husband. A lot of people I know are sick right now. Don't even get me started on the news. And that's just me. I can not even imagine what everybody else has going on in their lives. And yet, here you are. Maybe you're here in spite of it. Maybe you're here because of it. And I just want to say out loud how much I appreciate that here is where you are with your community and with me. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Javier Carapan, and I am joined this evening by Leslie and our musicians and our wonderful Beyond Our Walls committee that allows for all of you watching us remotely to join us. And for those of you at home, make sure that you have this number 913-303-1134. That's our technical assistance line. You can text that number and one of our dozens will get back to you. And for those here of you, there he goes, here in person, we have calling the pages on the square brackets. And Leslie's introduction made me think about something I was reading in this new book that I'm promoting. It's a friend of mine, Dahlia Marks, Rabbi Dahlia Marks, who teaches liturgy and Talmud at the Hebrew Union College in Jerusalem. We've been friends for 20 plus years. Her new book is From Time to Time, and it is like a walk through the entire Jewish year with customs and all that. But the first page of every month, it talks about the meaning of the name of the month. And the month of Adar apparently comes from Akkadian. It is the last month in the biblical calendar because Nisan is the first one. And the word Adaru, this is Akkadian for those of you who are wondering, means either dark or concealed.
Well, that's interesting.
And this is one of the reasons perhaps why the rabbis specifically prescribe the phrase that we sing sometimes, which is as soon as Adar begins, one is supposed to increase simcha. And she has some reflections about other rabbis throughout history who had very hard lives, like Rabbi Nachman of Ratzlav, who wrote about what we will consider today clinical depression. And his theme throughout his writings is simcha, joy. And the idea I think that she comes up with is that it's precisely when you are most depressed or when you're in the month that is called the dark month that we should make an extra effort to be together and rejoice.
We don't need to be commanded to be happy when we're happy.
There you go.
We need to be encouraged to be happy when we're not.
You see, she just explained it better than I could have. That's why she's a writer and I am not.
I'm Appendix A, thank you.
So that's what made me think about. So this is the month
I'm excited.
of
I have
Adar.
the book on order.
So more about the book later if we comes to that. But and this one she dedicated it to me, so I have it. It's very nice. So I just saw her in Philadelphia at the CCAR. So, and we really studied together about the month of Adar and all that, which was very interesting. Because today you'll get a chance to ask questions about Purim, but you can also ask questions about Adar and things connected to the calendar. So start thinking about your questions. They may get an answer today or they may not. We'll see. Sometimes I try, sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't. But I always try. So it's good to be together in this month of concealments and hidden things. Much about that later. It's time to welcome Shabbat together. We invite all of you who have candles at home to go ahead and start lighting the candles. And before we light the candles on page 121, we joined together. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. As we continue welcoming Shabbat, we turn to page 138 as we sing verses from Lecha Dodi. We're singing together stanzas 1, 2, 5, and 9. Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, b'nei pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, b'nei pnei Shabbat nekavela. La 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 la. Lecha dodi, lekrat kala, b'nei pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, b'nei pnei Shabbat nekavela.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmiranu el hamichad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, l'shem al tiferet b'litila.
La 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 la, lecha dodi, lekrat kala, b'nei pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, lekrat kala, b'nei pnei Shabbat nekavela.
Likrat Shabbat, l'chu v'nelcha, Yihi makor b'racha, Mirush
פני שבת נקבלה, לך לך דורתי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורי ומיורי, אורי שתעברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה.
לה 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 לך דורתי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך לך דורתי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
בואי ושלום, עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה וצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה.
בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דרכי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דרכי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לה 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 לה, לך דרכי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דרכי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Service continues on page 140. מזמור השיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור השיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד הבוקר חסדך, באמונת בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון לכינור. מזמור השיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
כי שימחת
לי אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך רנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור השיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
את אדוני
מבורך לעולם We continue together on page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? We shall draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over. Baruch Ata Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vayis Ve'ahavata Et Adonai Elohecha B'chol avcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha bevetecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'kumecha u'kshartam leot ayadecha ve'hayu letotafot beinenecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לעולכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת Continue together at the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Our service continues at the top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporez sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ברית עולם. ישראל אותי לעולם.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ברית עולם.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותיו ברית עולם.
תהילתך Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah El Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot U'Mevi Gula Livnei Bneihem L'man Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham B'Zrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye Metim Atah Rav Lehoshia Mahashiv Haruach U'Morit HaGashem Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Zohomech Noflim V'Rofech Cholim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Bal Gevurot U'Mido Melach Melech Memit U'Mechaye U'Matzmiach Yeshua V'Ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot Metim Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye HaMetim Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yalalucha Selah Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
We invite you to continue the Amidah silently through page 180, just the words on the Siddur and prayers from your own heart.
Tasim leolam, Shalom Rav Yisrael Anka, Tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech hador, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech hador, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Anka, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Anka, Tasim leolam. V'tuv b'necha levavech, et amcha
After the tragic events of October 7th, 2023 in Israel, during Shabbat services, many of us have included a special Misheberach for those still in captivity or whose whereabouts are unknown. May the one who blessed Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Leah and Rachel bless, watch and guard the captives, men and women, among others, of the house of Israel, who found themselves in distress and captivity. May Adonai grant mercy upon them, take them out from darkness and gloom, break their chains, redeem them from their ordeals, and return them quickly to the comfort of their families. And may the words of the prophet Isaiah be fulfilled speedily in our own time. Ufiduei Adonai yeshuvun, then the ransomed of Adonai shall return. Uvao Tzion berina v'simchat olam al rosham, and come with shouting to Zion, crowned with joy everlasting. Sason v'simcha yasigu v'nasu yagon va'anacha. Then shall attain joy and gladness, while sorrow and sighing flee. Together we say, Amen. And our attention now turns closer to home, those among us who are in need of healing of the mind, body, and spirit. As always, online you can find a link to the Misheberach. You can also type names, and you can start now, and it takes a few seconds for me to be able to read them. For those of us here in our sanctuary, I'm going to start on this side.
Tina.
As we think of those in need of healing on page 371, we join together in the Misheberach prayer. Misheberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBeracha Source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bring blessings of strength, compassion, and healing to those of us who struggle with the oppression of addiction, emotional distress, and mental suffering. Surround them with loving kindness, grace, companionship, and peace. Few more names appeared on the screen: Chaya, Karen, Chris, and Andy. We now turn to our Simcha moment. We invite you to share a special Simcha joy from this past week, which may include your birthday, anniversary, and good news and accomplishments. Of course, you can type those online, and in a few seconds, I'll see them. And for those of you here in person, please come up and then stay here when you are finished. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Hi, I'm Denton Williams, and this past week I had the privilege of going to Denver, Colorado for some continuing education, and I received education in 20 new interventions in the field of neurologic music therapy. That was fascinating information.
Hi, I'm Hadassah. This week I made Hamantaschen with the Jewish Student Union, and I was able to make an art club for my school, and I am the leader of the club, so yeah.
I'm Judy Hellman, and last week I observed my 89th birthday, and to celebrate I had a knee replaced, and I'm doing very well.
Hi, I'm Nathan Hightower, and on Tuesday I got married.
I have one.
Please.
I'm Leslie Zucker, and I just got the email today letting me know that I was accepted. I have a place in the Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
I'm sillier than I am smart, but I'm doing 3 short plays all on Jewish identity.
Nice. Very nice. I'm trying to look online to see if there are any other simchas. Today, so that you know, for those people online, if I miss them, they're going very slowly today. I don't know why.
It has all day.
Okay, so
not just-
we apologize if we don't see them. We're going to continue with our prayer as we gather all our simchas. We offer this prayer. Divine source of blessings, we thank you for everything that enriches our lives. We turn to you now with gratitude as we mark the happiness of those who have come forward in celebration of birthdays, good news, and accomplishments. Adonai, be with them now and always. May they be blessed with health and happiness now and always. As we honor each one of you for the gifts that you bring to our sacred community, we join together in song as we mark this sacred occasion. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Congratulations. All right. So this is we haven't had a Jewish holiday in a while, but they're coming, and this one is Purim, and it's coming very soon. Les is going to be our timekeeper, and I'm going to ask our technical team in the back to make sure that we don't miss any questions if they're coming from online. And again, I wanted to say a few words about this new book. Not everything that you want to know about Purim or every Jewish holiday is in this book, but just about. It's called From Time to Time, Journeys in the Jewish Calendar. And this was written by a friend of mine, Rabbi Dalia Marks. We have a lot of things in common. Dalia is married to an Argentinian. She spent a year at Hebrew Union College in Cincinnati with us when I was already ordained. And also she is responsible in part for my visit in Berlin. Her father grew up in Berlin, but she didn't know any German, so she was invited to teach at the newly reconstituted Reform Seminary in Berlin. It's called the Abraham Geiger College, which is based out of the University of Potsdam, which is a part of Berlin. And so she spent some time, about 3 years there. And so I said, I want to go to Berlin too. I didn't spend 3 years, but she actually told me all the places to go and the people to see, many of them, and also where to go to learn more German. So you see, now you have the whole story of where I get ideas sometimes. I have friends, or collected them across the world, just about. So I'm gonna come down here so I can hear your questions. The way that we do it, so everybody online can understand what's going on. If you have a question, Leslie usually repeats the question or gets it from online, and then I answer the question. And we have about 15 minutes, so it's gonna be very painless. You don't have to, it's only 15 minutes, and then that's it. So, but this is the time for you to ask any questions about Purim you ever wanted to ask. I see one hand over back there. This is always dangerous, but yes, it's Dave.
So there's that tradition, supposedly, that you drink so much that you can't tell the difference between Mordecai and Haman.
Well, and more specifically, so the question for those of you watching at home is about the tradition of drinking until you cannot tell the difference between blessed be Mordecai and cursed be Haman.
So, and what's the question?
So the question is, how does something like that come about?
How does that become something in our tradition?
Yeah, what's the link back to the holiday on that?
Oh, very good.
Or is that just rabbis bored and they wanted to get
Were the rabbis just bored, or does this actually have a purpose?
All right. So, yes and no. In other words, there is actually a direct connection in the story itself, because there is a banquet and several banquets. Now, in the rabbinic interpretation of the book of Esther, and this is a unique, something that no other book of the Hebrew Bible has, which is, there's a tractate in the Talmud called Megillah, which, is the Megillah. And what is unique about it is, if you know anything about Talmud, it's usually pretty digressive. It starts with something and it ends on somewhere else. So let's say if you want to know about the laws of Hanukkah, of course, you're going to go to tractate Shabbat, to read about Hanukkah. But this is unique because it's actually a line-by-line interpretation of the Megillah, which you don't find anywhere else in the Talmud. It's actually organized. Surprise. And here's the story. So there, when it comes to, it has two parts. One part is Mordecai does not drink, all right? And neither does Esther. And this point is made in Masechet Megillah, in the Megillah tractate. It's not obvious from the story, but Esther says in this midrash that she was a good Jewish girl all along, and she didn't do anything out of line. Like, she didn't eat non-kosher food, she didn't drink. Now, the problem with the drinking, this is very complicated, but I'll just simplify it, is that in the ancient Near East, there was actually kosher wine. There's still today, but it's a different thing. So kosher wine, she says, I didn't drink any non-kosher wine, and blah, blah, blah. Very anachronistic, of course, but it doesn't matter. That's how Rabbinic Judaism usually is. Yeah. But there is actually supposed to be a party, a celebration, and this is kind of after everything happens. Mordecai, and this is another problem with the text, because Esther is the hero, but in the last chapter, she's never mentioned again. It's all about Mordecai, so man, what are you going to do? So Mordecai decrees that there should be a banquet. And so the rabbis question, what constitutes a celebration, how much wine you should drink, and all that. And as a result of that, and this is actually found in other cases, like you're supposed to drink wine on Pesach, on the Seder, and the rabbis go through this whole thing about drink, how much is a drink, how much wine you put in the Kiddush cup to be able to, on Shabbat, to be able to fulfill the mitzvah of that. And so this is where this whole thing about drinking comes for men only, and that's why it's Mordechai and Haman. And so now the real reason is perhaps similar to why we have wine on the Seder, mostly because in the ancient Mediterranean, wine was considered a celebratory thing. So why not Slivovitz? I don't know. It's just wine because they didn't have it. Good question. Thank you. Now, I have 1 and 2. Then please, Mr. Franklin has a question. Go ahead, say it, and Leslie will repeat it.
When I was younger, we were taught that Esther's action saved the Jewish people, and without her, there would be no Jews. But the fact is, Shushan couldn't have been the center of Judaism. There had to be other places where Jews were living.
Right.
So why are we taught that myth? Maybe it was just in West Virginia, but I'm pretty sure.
We are taught, especially as children, but still as we celebrate the holiday, that if not for Esther, there would be no Jews, that she saved the entirety of the Jewish peoplehood. However, there probably were Jews other places than Shushan. So how did that tradition come about?
Right. So I don't know how that tradition came about. Somebody was, drinking too much. Actually, there is much more evidence on the contrary, because the rabbis already knew this, and everybody knew in the ancient world, that the story of Esther is very, very much about a certain group of Jews in a certain part of the world. And that is because Esther is from where she supposedly is, and is very much located in Persia. And there's a tradition coming out of the Talmud, but it really developed in the Middle Ages, of what it's called, and you might have seen this, it's called Purim Sheni. I taught about this years ago, but you don't probably remember. So Purim Sheni is a tradition that you can create your own personal family Purim. And there are many of those. There is, if somebody happens, and, you are in a place and there's a plague and your family is saved, then you can declare a Purim Sheni in which you celebrate and you do things like you do in Purim. And of course, you get to drink until you don't know the difference, kind of thing. So, so there are many of those. So I don't know who told you that, because there's great evidence that shows that really, even from the ancient world onwards, Purim felt like this is the story of one community. The bigger question, which I'm not going to answer, but I'm going to ask it from you, you may Google this, is if the story of Esther is so focal or localized in one place, why did it make it into the canon of the Hebrew Bible and other stories like the story of the Maccabees, which is certainly, had the Maccabees not won, there would not be Jews around. Why that story did not make it into the canon of the Hebrew Bible. But that's for another day. You had another questions. Hadassah.
Why do we wear costumes on Purim?
Oh, beautiful. So, and that question came from Hadassah, which is Esther's Hebrew name. There you go. So, very appropriate. This one is an easy question. We actually know exactly how this all happened. It's in the 14th century. Jews in mainly Italy And then in other parts of the Ashkenazic world, now Italy is not Ashkenaz, but it's kind of becomes part of it. That's the first time that we know that Jews are starting to wear costumes. And 100% is because the non-Jews were wearing costumes at about this time, carnival and all kinds of things. We also know that it took a while to take effect, because in the 16th century, Yosef Karo, who lived in the land of Israel in Safat, wrote a very influential code of Jewish law called the Shulchan Aruch, and there he does not know that people get dressed. 200 years later or so, in the city of Krakow in Poland, Moses Isserles, who writes kind of an update Ashkenazic commentary on the Shulchan Aruch, says, and we hear that in certain communities, people dress up. And the dress up there is a whole other story, but it's mostly what he refers to in the Shulchan Aruch, in this commentary, is that men wear women's clothes and women wear men's clothes, and that's kind of what is supposed to be the actual dress up. And the other one is wearing masks. So there's an article out there as to whether the word mask in Hebrew, masecha, and the word mask in English are related or not. Again, you can Google that one and learn about it. I'm full of Google today.
So we do have one online
One
question.
online, please.
And that is, could you speak to Purim and Yom Kippur as being two sides of the same coin?
So there is a text, but it's just one text. And it says something like, Yom Kippur, so one Hebrew word that means also Yom Kippur, and you'll see that in the liturgy, the blessings for Yom Kippur when you light the candles is Shel Yom HaKippurim. And the words Yom HaKippurim, sounds like Kepurim, which means like Purim. So the rabbis have this little thing, and it's just one text. Which I think this is kind of where this person is going with, and I appreciate that. But it's just that it's a drash, it's a sermon that somebody gave on the connections between Purim and Yom Kippur. But unfortunately, the rabbis knew better, which is that the root of the words Purim and Kippur are not related at all. So it's a false etymology, and you can't really build a whole, theory on that, as I see it. But it's a nice sermon. And the sermon is basically, on Yom Kippur, Jews get dressed up. This is a medieval, sermon commentary. Jews dressed up like pious Jews, So on Yom Kippur, it's pretty harsh. We all Jews all of a sudden says, "Oh, we're very pious" once a year. So they put a kittel, they all that. That's kind of that. That rabbi was not very happy about his congregation that they didn't show up for the rest of the year. So, you come here now. This is like Purim. You all look like you're all Hasidim now, and it's like, sorry, you got to do this all year. But good question, thank you. One more, please. I have one.
So Mordecai dresses in sackcloth and ash. Where does that come from? What is the background of that?
What is the reason for Mordecai to dress in sackcloth and ash?
So in ancient Israel, the one of the signs of mourning for the imminent destruction of the Jews of that, the Persian Empire, is to do that so that the decree is averted somehow, that God intervenes and the things are averted. In the story of Jonah that we know, and that happens also outside of the land of Israel, the book of Jonah and the book of Esther are similar but different. The one thing that is obvious that you all know, but maybe you don't, is that in the book of Esther, at least in the Hebrew Bible, God is never mentioned, not even referred to with any epithets like, the eternal or anything like that. So, but it is, in other respects, it's very similar to the book of Jonah because it happens outside of the land of Israel. It doesn't mention Zion at all or Jerusalem. And it's really a story about non-Jewish, connections of Jews with non-Jews. Jonah on one part, Esther and Mordechai on the other. And there, the people of Nineveh, the king has everybody dressed in sackcloth and all the same. So there is a parallel perhaps there, but the parallel is more with ancient literature in general, where people were expressing this kind of, mourning customs. It was that way. So, are we done?
You are well done.
Oh, well, thank you. We're out of time, so.
Good questions, everyone. I love a good question session.
Thank you, yes. So I had 2 more slides, which we're going to skip. 1, 2, boom. You're like, what's that? Well, next year.
I know who put the slides together, so if you're really curious, I bet you can get them.
Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Thank you, Leslie, for facilitating our discussion and keeping us on track. It's now time to continue our worship service with Aleinu L'Shabbat on page 586. If you are able, please join us.
Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol, latit gedula le'otzeh breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpatot ha'adama, shelo sam elkeinu kamen, ve'gor aleinu kechol ha'adonai, v'namatu kori, u'mishacharim u'modim, lifnei melech machei hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
נאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. נאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. היום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, love and loss, of life and death. We are observing the Shloshim period for Jack Childs, father and father-in-law of Casey and Rabbi Mark Levin, and grandfather of Seth and Kyle Winston, Eileen Gary, past president of our congregation. And on this Shabbat, we remember the following yortzites: Ron Davison, Mary Adelia Dees, Edward Duchak, Deborah Ruth Levitt Dutton, Kevin Casey Eichler, William Engelberg, Donald Epstein, Robert Gould, Lloyd S. Hellman, Santa Heschbielberger, Maurice H. Karch, Joseph Keifetz, Max Levinson, Paul Meyer, Mamie Nathan, Gerald Paisner, Marlene Shapiro, Hannah Steinzig, Harriet Swade, Stephen Thompson, Earl Yunell, Sam Weingarten. If you're joining us online or in person and are observing a yahrzeit, would like to share the names. First, I'll go around the sanctuary if anybody has any other names. Thank you. Let me look online. Zichronam livracha, may the memories be for a blessing. Page 598. Please join us, stand if it's your custom for Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דא אמירם בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל
Time for some thank you and announcement. Thank you to our ushers and greeters, Barb and Kevin, and to the Beth Torah bakers. And special thank you to our musicians, Leslie, Warren, Howard, and our bow committee in the back. Our wonderful team.
Our Shabbat celebrations continue tomorrow with Sichat Shabbat at 9 a.m. in the library, followed by Shabbat morning worship at 10:30 in our sanctuary, where Lily Simpson will lead us in worship as she becomes a bat mitzvah.
And Purim is Sunday. It starts after Shabbat. We have so many wonderful ways to celebrate. Wear your costumes to Beth Torah on Sunday morning, March the 24th, for our breakfast Megillah reading starting at 9 a.m. You can read Megillah in the evening or during the morning. We're doing morning. And we're doing morning drinking too. There will be good food, coffee, and adult beverages, and someone there very happy. Followed by our Purim Carnival. Then head over to the J for Purim 1000. And if that's still not enough for you, check out the community-wide Shushan Purim event through the Rabbinical Association on March 25th, which is now only virtual. So no reason not to go because...
We got the notification today that they are moving to virtual only. On the front page of our website, we have put that Zoom link. So if you were planning to attend and need to flip over to the virtual, just go to our front page of our website, scroll down a little bit, and in all the Purim stuff, that Zoom link is there. So it's really easy to find. And I'm told it will go live at 10:30. 10:30 a.m. Monday morning is when the Zoom will go live for that event.
Thank you. Tuesday is our next fresh look at Israel and the Mideast class led by Rabbi Scott White.
And be sure to add our second night congregational Seder to your calendar. Come celebrate with us on April 23rd. Bring your own kosher LePesach dinner, or do what I'm doing and order from the Jewish Experiences, where they will cook everything for you.
And we will warm it up for you.
Yes,
here
if
then.
you let us know that you ordered from them, we will go and pick up your meal and warm it up. It will be here waiting for you. Their deadline...
How's that for service?
And it's good
Customer
food. I mean,
service.
their deadline is April 8th. We need you, oh, goodness gracious, who did that? That would be me, I'm the one that did that. April 16th is what that says. We need to know by April 16th if you're coming so that we make sure that we have enough matzah.
Finally, next Sunday, Corbin Lentz and Samuel Tucker invite you to come watch The Prince of Egypt with them at 2:30 p.m. This is part of their bar mitzvah, joint bar mitzvah celebration. The movie is free. We encourage you to purchase a bag of concession goodies, and that will benefit the Sasson program here in our community. Bring blankets and pillows to enhance your movie watching experience.
And there is so much more going on. We needed 3 slides for the month of March.
And as the slides go by, just a reminder, after our closing song, we invite everyone to join us in the Ulam for Kiddush and Oneg.
And I heard a rumor that there's hamantaschen. I didn't just hear a rumor. I'm such a fibber. I was here all day. I smelled it cooking. I
didn't hear a rumor. I already stole one from the trays in the kitchen. I always do it. Thank you for the bakers.
I waited. There's a halo above my kippah.
I don't have restrictions on that. But until then, if you are able, please stand and join us for Utsu Etza. Utsu Etza ve'etufar. Utsu Etza ve'etufar. Utsu Etza ve'etufar. Dabru davar ve'lo yakun ki Immanuel. Betufar, dabru davar velo yakun ki Immanuel. Otsu etza betufar, dabru davar velo yakun. Otsu etza betufar, dabru davar velo yakun ki Immanuel. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. Take care of each other out there.